Right now, today, there are 9 SUVs sitting on used car lots and private driveways across America that could pass for a $50,000 luxury vehicle at 30 feet. Same chrome, same presence, same heads turning in the parking lot, and every single one of them is available for under $10,000. I've been under enough cars to know what makes a vehicle look expensive versus actually be expensive to own. And here's the dirty secret the luxury car market doesn't want you figuring out. Depreciation doesn't care about build quality. Some of the best-looking SUVs ever built crater in value the second someone else owns them, leaving you with a vehicle that looks like a CEO drives it but costs less than a decent used pickup. Now, I'm going to be straight with you on every single one of these. Some are stealth reliability machines, some are beautiful ticking time bombs if you don't know what you're doing. I'm going to tell you exactly which is which, because buying the wrong $8,000 luxury SUV doesn't save you money. It costs you money. The right one? That's a different story entirely. We're counting down from 9 to 1. Number 1 is the SUV I genuinely believe is the single best dollar-for-dollar luxury looker in the entire used market right now. Let's get into it. Number 9, Lincoln MKX from 2007 to 2010. Most people see a Lincoln grille and immediately assume the maintenance costs match the badge. They are wrong, and that assumption is exactly why you can find a 2008 Lincoln MKX, a genuinely handsome, premium-feeling crossover for $6,500 right now. Here is what the MKX actually is underneath that chrome waterfall grille. It is a Ford Edge with a better interior, a quieter ride, and a 3.5-liter Duratec V6 that is one of the more straightforward, naturally aspirated engines Ford ever put in anything. No turbo failure, no dual-clutch drama. It paired with a 6-speed automatic that has proven itself over millions of miles. Power steering, heated seats, wood trim, real leather. The MKX had all of it as standard or near standard equipment. The average repair cost on the first-generation MKX runs about $620 per year. That is competitive with mainstream brands. The most common issue I see is a blend door actuator for the climate control, about $150 in parts and an hour of labor. Everything else on these is pretty quiet. What to inspect? Check the transmission fluid. If it is dark brown and smells burnt, walk away or negotiate hard. Test all the electronic seat controls. The driver's seat memory system on high mileage examples occasionally gives up. And look at the panoramic sunroof seals. Some first-generation models develop minor water intrusion issues if the drains were not kept clear. This is a solid choice if you want to show up somewhere looking like you spent $35,000 and you actually spent $7,000. It is a bad choice if you need 3 rows or plan to drive it past 150,000 miles without a thorough inspection first. Number 8, the Cadillac SRX first generation, 2004 to 2009. The first generation SRX is the sleeper of this list. It looks expensive because it is expensive, it just used to be expensive. Now, a fully loaded 2007 Cadillac SRX V8 with Bose audio, magnetic ride control, and a panoramic roof can be had for under $8,000. When that car was new, it stickered at over $52,000. That's not a typo. The V6 version uses the General Motors 3.6-liter high-feature V6 engine. Stick with the 2007 and newer models because General Motors sorted out the timing chain tensioner issues that plagued early production. The V8 version uses the Northstar 4.6-liter, and I'll be honest with you, the Northstar has a reputation, and it's not entirely undeserved. Head bolt issues at very high mileage are real. If you go V8, you want one under 90,000 miles with documented oil changes. Religiously documented. But the V6 with updated components is an underrated daily driver. Parts are plentiful. Cadillac dealers service these without needing to fly in components from overseas. Inside, this thing looks like it belongs in a different tax bracket. Real metal trim, soft touch surfaces everywhere, and rear seat room that surprises people. Check the rear differential fluid. If it is an all-wheel drive model, it is commonly skipped in service histories. Budget $180 to do it yourself if it has not been done. Verify the magnetic ride control suspension. Put it in tour mode, then sport mode, and drive over a speed bump. If it does not adjust correctly, replacement shocks run $400 to $600 each. Number 7. Volvo XC90 first generation, from 2003 to 2014. Few SUVs in history look as permanently sophisticated as the first generation Volvo XC90. It came out in 2003 and ran basically unchanged until 2014 because Volvo could not improve on what they had built stylistically. It still looks current, and it still turns heads. 3 rows, raised ride height, and that Scandinavian restraint that makes German luxury look like it is trying too hard. For under $9,000, you can get into a 2010 XC90 3.2 with the naturally aspirated inline-6. This is the one to get. The 3.2 is smoother, more reliable, and does not carry the turbo maintenance costs of the T6 version. Here is the critical thing on the XC90. Service history is everything. These cars need their PCV system serviced. If it is neglected, oil consumption becomes a real problem. The spark plugs should be replaced every 60,000 miles, and the transmission fluid on the Aisin-sourced 6-speed should be changed every 60,000 to 75,000 miles, whether the manufacturer says so or not. Do all of that, and an XC90 3.2 will give you 200,000 miles without drama. Skip it, and you will be Googling repairs at 3 a.m. The reward for doing it right? You are driving what still looks like a $45,000 SUV, getting third-row seating, and you paid $7,800 for it. Nobody needs to know. The parking lot tells the story for you. Number 6. Infiniti FX35 from 2003 to 2008. I want you to go look up the first generation Infiniti FX35 right now. Go ahead, I'll wait. That is not a vehicle that should be available for $7,000. It looks like something a movie villain drives to a business meeting. Low, wide, aggressive stance with an interior that was genuinely ahead of its time in 2003 and still holds its own today. Expensive. Under the hood is the Nissan VQ35DE, Award's 10 Best Engines list recipient for multiple years. The VQ35 is a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6 that simply does not quit. Nissan 350Zs, Altimus and Maximus use this engine, and mechanics have seen it routinely hit 250,000 miles with basic maintenance. No timing belt, chain-driven, no turbo, just displacement and engineering done right. Bulletproof. The FX35 paired this with a 5-speed automatic that is smooth and well-proven. The all-wheel drive system is simple and reliable. Reliable. Where do you need to be careful? The electronics. Early FX35s have an infotainment system that was cutting edge in 2003 and is a dinosaur now. Expect to budget $300 to $400 for a modern head unit if it is glitchy. The rear differential on all-wheel drive models benefits from a fluid change if it has not been done. Nissan uses a unique fluid specification, about $80 in fluid and an hour of your time. Inspect the suspension carefully. The FX35 was tuned for sporty handling, and previous owners who drove it aggressively may have accelerated wear on the front control arm. Bushings check. If you want to pull up somewhere looking like you drove straight from a James Bond set and you have a budget under $9,000, the FX35 is the move. Number 5, Acura MDX, first generation, from 2001 to 2006. I have a customer who bought a 2004 Acura MDX for $5,800 4 years ago. She now has 218,000 miles on it. The most expensive repair in those 4 years was a starter motor, $290 in parts and labor. The first generation MDX is built on Honda's platform with Honda's legendary J35 V6, a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated engine. That is, in my honest opinion, one of the 5 best SUV engines ever made. Honda's engineering philosophy is conservative. Over-engineer everything. Run it forever. The J35 follows that philosophy completely. At current prices for 2001 to 2006 models, you are getting a 3-row luxury SUV. Wood trim, heated leather, power everything, a Bose audio system for $5,000 to $8,000. This was a $40,000 SUV when new. Think of it as the Lexus RX 300 of the era, but with a 3rd row and Honda's build consistency. The one thing to know, the VTM 4-rear differential on these needs serviced every 30,000 miles with Honda's specific fluid. If that service has been skipped, you will hear a clunking on tight turns. The fluid service is about $80, and it fixes the issue instantly if the differential itself is still okay. If it has been neglected long-term, a rear differential replacement runs $1,200 to $1,800. Check service records specifically for this before you buy. Transmission, Honda's 5-speed automatic on these has been known to develop issues on high-mileage examples. Get one under 120,000 miles if you want to avoid that conversation entirely. Under 100,000 is even better. They exist at this price. Go find them. Number 4, BMW X5 E53, 2000 to 2006. Let me be completely honest with you before I tell you why this is on the list. The BMW X5 E53 is a beautiful machine. It drives unlike anything else at this price point. The M54 3.0-liter inline-6 is one of the most characterful, smooth, rewarding engines ever installed in an SUV. The interior is still genuinely impressive, and you can buy one for $6,000. Here is what that means. You are buying a BMW for $6,000. Let that sink in. You are not buying a low-maintenance vehicle. You are buying a premium driving experience that will require premium maintenance costs. The cooling system needs to be refreshed. Water pump, thermostat, expansion tank, all of it, if the previous owner has not done it. Plan $900 for that job. The valve cover gasket goes at high mileage, another $400. The front subframe bushings are a known wear item, about $600 to $800 installed. But here is why I still put it on this list. If you buy a well-documented X5 E53 with the M54 inline-6 under 120,000 miles, where those cooling system jobs have been done, the ongoing maintenance is manageable. You are not in uncharted territory. Every independent BMW specialist in the country knows this car inside out. Parts are cheap because they are abundant, and what you get in return is a vehicle that looks absolutely nothing like a $6,000 car. It looks like what it is, a premium German SUV. On the road, it drives like what it is. The E53 redefined what an SUV could feel like dynamically, and it still has not been fully forgotten by the used market. This one is for the buyer who is mechanically savvy, has a good, independent BMW shop, and understands that a $6,000 German SUV requires an adult relationship with maintenance. Go in clear-eyed and the reward is exceptional. Go in expecting a Toyota and you will be disappointed. Number 3. Mercedes-Benz ML350s W164 from 2006 to 2011. Here is a stat that should make your jaw drop. A fully optioned 2008 Mercedes-Benz ML350 4MATIC with panoramic sunroof, Harman Kardon audio, wood and leather interior and air suspension was stickered at $58,000. Right now, you can buy that exact vehicle for $7,500. The W164 Generation ML is genuinely good-looking in a way that does not age. The three-pointed star on the hood does something to people. Perception-wise, you are driving something people assume cost at least $45,000. Under the hood, the 3.5-liter M272 V6 is the version to get. Adequate power, reasonably maintenance-friendly compared to the M273 V8, and much cheaper to feed at the pump. The 7-speed automatic on these is smooth and generally reliable if the transmission fluid has been changed every 60,000 miles. Here is the honest mechanic truth. The Mercedes ML350 W164 has specific items that must be addressed. The balance shaft gear on M272 engines, built before engine number 27296120165, is a known failure point. Check the engine build date. If the gear has already been replaced, you are fine. If it has not, and it fails, that repair runs $3,000 to $4,000. That is your negotiating chip if the car does not have documentation showing this was addressed. The front air suspension bags on equipped models cost $300 to $400 per corner to replace when they fail, and they will fail eventually. Buy it knowing those two facts, price it accordingly, and you are looking at one of the most impressive-looking SUVs on this entire list for around $8,000 total invested. Number 2, Cadillac Escalade ESV from 2002 to 2006. Nothing on a public road says $70,000 louder than an Escalade. The long wheelbase ESV variant, the one with the extended body, 3 rows, and full-length sunroof, was $68,000 new. Right now, a 2005 Cadillac Escalade ESV with 120,000 miles is $7,000 to $9,500 on a good day. The math there is obscene, and here is what I will tell you that nobody else will. The 6.0-liter Vortec V8 in the Escalade from 2002 to 2006 is fundamentally one of the most durable truck engines General Motors ever built. It is the same engine family that powers the Silverado and Sierra heavy-duty lineup. It is overbuilt for the application it is in. I have seen these engines at 280,000 miles with no internal work done, ever. The Escalade platform is a Chevy Tahoe and GMC Yukon underneath the designer suit. That means parts are everywhere, mechanics know them everywhere, and nothing is exotic or rare. When something breaks, and eventually something will, you are paying Chevy prices for Cadillac parts from third-party suppliers. What to check? The air ride suspension if it is equipped. Ride height sensors fail, compressors wear out. Bypass the air suspension entirely with a passive conversion kit for about $450 if you do not want to deal with it. Check the rear differential for leaks. It is a common drip point at high mileage. Pull the third row seat and look underneath it. Escalades were family vehicles. Evidence of 8 years of family use is evidence of 8 years of hard use. If you want maximum presence, maximum visual impact for minimum spend, the Escalade ESV is your answer. There is nothing else on a used lot that delivers this level of road authority for $8,500. Number 1. Lexus RX 330 and RX 350 from 2004 to 2009. A customer of mine bought a 2006 Lexus RX 330 3 years ago for $7,200. It had 108,000 miles on it. He drives it to a commercial real estate office every morning. People in his building ask him how business is going, assuming that car is a current model year luxury vehicle. He just smiles. That is the RX in a nutshell. It has never not looked premium. It does not age. The proportions, the chrome detailing, the quiet, composed stance. Lexus designed it to communicate wealth and refinement, and it communicates that just as clearly today as it did when it was new. Luxury, plain and simple. But here is why number 1 is not just about looks. The RX 330 and RX 350 used the 3.3-liter 3MZ FE and the 3.5-liter 2GR FE V6 engines, both variations of the same engine philosophy that Toyota has been perfecting since the 1990s. Naturally aspirated, timing chain, 0 turbos. These engines are so overbuilt that Toyota engineers should honestly be embarrassed at how easy they made it look. I have personally worked on RX 330s at 280,000 miles that were still on their original water pump. Factory seals. RepairPal puts the RX annual maintenance cost at $553. That is not just good for a luxury SUV. That is competitive with mainstream non-luxury vehicles. The probability of a severe repair in any given year is just 7%. For reference, the German luxury competition sits at 15 to 20%. Competitive is the word. Currently on the market, a 2006 Lexus RX 330 with 90,000 miles goes for $7,500 to $9,500 depending on trim. A 2008 RX 350 with 100,000 miles is $9,000 to $11,000, right at the edge of our budget but findable under $10,000 with patience. Compare that to what this car was when new, a $45,000 vehicle. You are getting Toyota reliability wrapped in Lexus luxury at a fraction of what it cost the original buyer. Inspection checklist. First, check for any evidence of oil burning. Some early 3MZ engines develop minor consumption at very high mileage. 1 quart per 3,000 miles is acceptable. More than that, negotiate hard. Second, test the pre-collision system and navigation on later models. Lexus electronics are durable, but touchscreen calibration can drift on older units. Third, look at the paint on the hood and roof under direct sunlight. Some early RX models had clear coat issues in hot climates. Not a mechanical concern, but factor in $1,500 for a respray if it is bad. Fourth, test the automatic transmission through all driving modes. It should be glass smooth. Any hesitation or harsh shifting means the fluid has not been changed. Get a $150 transmission service, and it typically resolves it. If it does not, walk away. Who is this for? Anyone who wants to look successful without being reckless. Anyone who commutes and wants silence, comfort, and confidence. The car will start every single morning for the next 7 years. Anyone who has watched friends get buried in German luxury repair bills and wants out of that cycle permanently. Confidence matters. Who should skip it? If you need 3 rows, the RX is a 2-row SUV. Look at the Lexus GX 470 instead. It is under $12,000, body on frame, Land Cruiser underneath, absolutely bulletproof, and it has 3 rows. Different video. And if you want performance driving, the RX is not the answer. It is refined, not exciting. But for the person who wants the combination of real luxury presence, genuine Toyota reliability, and a price tag under $10,000, nothing on this list, nothing in the entire used market does it better than the Lexus RX 330 or 350. So there it is, 9 SUVs that walk into any parking lot looking like they belong at a valet stand, all available for under $10,000 if you shop smart and know what you are looking at. From the Lincoln MKX that tricks people into thinking it is current generation, to the Escalade ESV that commands a room, all the way to the Lexus RX that has been quietly embarrassing its competitors for 2 decades. The market misprices these vehicles because of age, mileage numbers that scare people who do not know what a good engine looks like at 100,000 miles, and badges that have slipped out of fashion. That is your advantage. You now know what those mispriced vehicles actually are under the surface. Next time a salesperson tries to put you in a 3-year-old economy SUV for $16,000, remember this list. You can do better, a lot better. If you want my breakdown of which luxury SUVs to absolutely avoid under $10,000, the ones that will have you calling a tow truck before the first oil change, that video is right here. Consider it the other side of this conversation. The list of what not to buy matters just as much as what to buy. That is the truth nobody at a dealership is going to give you. Like it if it helped. Subscribe if you want more of it. Drive safe, take care of your car, and it will take care of you. I will see you in the next one.